Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. It's Tisha and you are tuning into Tisha Talks live at 4:45, depending on where you're at, if you're Mountain Standard Time with me out in Arizona. But today I have the great pleasure of introducing you to Erin Brochu. She is the CEO of EE Admin Consulting. She's out in North Charleston, South Carolina, for you who may be in the area. But Erin, say hi. Welcome to the show. Great to have you here.
Hey, Tisha. Hey, everybody. How are you?
Yeah,
Glad
we're doing
to be
good
on today, and
yes,
I'm excited to be here.
I have to give you a big shout out, Erin, because this is your first video live stream that you're doing, and I have the pleasure of having you on my show. Yay!
Yes, absolutely. I'm excited. I'll tell you. I was a little bit nervous over the last few days, but it's gotten a little bit better since.
Oh, and I promise this is so painless. Like, we're just going to have a good time. We're going to have some fun. We're going to be talking a lot about our topic of the day. But hey, I want to give a shout out to Bruce Carnahan. He says, I'm with you both. Yay, Bruce out here in Tempe, Arizona. Thanks so much for tuning in. And speaking of, if you are tuning into this live stream on Facebook, on YouTube, or on LinkedIn, I hope you'll drop us a line, say hello, tell us where you're from. And then, yeah, if you have any questions for either Erin or myself as we keep going with this live broadcast, then make sure you drop those in the comments and we will be happy to address them right here live. All right. Okay. Bruce saying, good time, gals. Erin, love first. I love first. I love first times. And I think we all do. Like, we can always remember the first time we did X, right? And even today, I was saying that today is a new adventure. My son got braces today. It's a first for everything. It's 4 years of our life next with braces between my son and my daughter. And so, yeah, we always remember your first. So great to have you here, Erin. We're going to get into this, but another person just joined, Nat Handler. Nat saying, hey, Tisha and Erin, happy hump day. Congrats on your first live video, Erin. Yay. Yeah, we're going to get that a lot, Erin. Yeah, this is awesome. Congratulations. And thanks again for making this your first Tisha Talks Live.
Oh, all right. Absolutely.
All right. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about how to build your business on LinkedIn specifically. And Erin and I, we met. Actually, Erin, I know the date. June 15th, 2020 is our official connection date on LinkedIn. And shortly after, we followed it up with a very lengthy phone call. I actually remember, if you remember, I was at my son's soccer tournament or soccer camp.
I do.
Yeah,
I do remember that.
And it's just, when you're just around good people. And I always try and set like, hey, we've got 30 minutes to talk. But Erin and I hit it off so well that we actually were on the phone for like the whole practice. It's like several hours.
It was probably almost an hour to 2 hour phone call.
Yeah, it was. And
there was a lot that we talked about.
Oh, I know. We were just chatting it up. We talked about life. We talked about old jobs. We talked about LinkedIn. We just talked about all these great things. And now we're just good friends on LinkedIn. And I just asked her, hey, I'd love for you to be on the show. And here we are today. So that's how relationships work. So I'm super happy about that. And Erin's been in my corner for a lot of things, always commenting and vice versa. So I just have to say thanks again, Erin, for your support.
You're very welcome. Always. And thank you for the same as well.
Absolutely. All right. Okay. So Erin, you were telling me in the green room and even offline that really one of the reasons that you started EE Admin Consulting and getting into your consulting business is you were so tired of the supplemental security from the government because of your spina bifida, something that you were born with. And that really was like the motivation of, I don't want to do this. I want to start my business. I'm going to build my business and I'm going to do it on LinkedIn. And this is the platform I choose. So walk us through that journey with you when you decided no more supplemental security from the government. This is what I'm going to do. And this is how I'm going to make it happen.
Well, it started a while back after I joined LinkedIn, almost 7 years ago now, surprisingly that I've been on there that long. And, I've worked for several CEOs. I've been in the medical field, worked with, different doctors and all. And the money that was being taken away from me because of that supplemental income, just, it wasn't leaving me with anything, and I figured, in order for me to get anywhere in life, I don't want to be on that anymore.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to start something when I joined LinkedIn, and after working, all these jobs, even part-time, something that would be for me that I would be proud of doing, and something that I can, it's not so much about the money for me. It's about helping people and seeing them be happy while creating an income.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I wanted in life. In order for me to get anywhere in life, that's, what I felt I had to do in order to get away from that supplemental income, because it was tying me down.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to feel tied down. I didn't want to feel like, even though I still am on it, I don't want to feel like, oh, I can't buy this one day, or I can't take this trip, or, I can't do certain things. Or if I want to go out to lunch, I want to be able to do those things, especially with friends that come to visit me, or one day I hope to visit them. So that's, why I wanted to start this. And, I started talking with several people in my networking and with my connections, and, trying to figure out, okay, what are the steps that I need to take in order for this to really happen?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've been working on.
That's good. Good. Yeah. We have a question coming in, and I just want to give a shout out to Mary Thane Brandt. She says, hi, Tisha, live shows everywhere today. Oh, I know. Big shout out to Gabe Leal, too, because he always posts like all the shows that are coming, and he's just been so great about promoting what all of us are doing. So that's awesome. That's the power.
I saw that yesterday.
I know. Your picture was up there, too, Erin. It was fun. Yeah. All right. So Bruce has a question for you. And his question is, what is your proudest moment thus far?
Getting to see this actually happen.
Yeah.
This, dream of mine. Even though it's been a slow process, getting to see it happen and watching, each step take place. That's been the biggest thing for me.
Yeah. No, that's good. I think that there's something about taking your dream and actually being able to touch it, feel it, see it in action is such an incredible experience. Like when you get there, you're just like, there's no better feeling than this right here. And all of the work and all of the tears and all of the sweat equity that you had to put in, it becomes so well worth it.
Right. And, another thing too, I was getting tired of just sitting around the house. Thinking, oh, well, okay, maybe the government money, will come in, or, whichever. And I was getting tired of sitting around the house just thinking, I can't live off of this.
Yeah.
It's not something that I can do. And I want to put my skills to use. I went to school, I went to college, I learned all these things, and I want to put this to good use. And that's another reason I came up with this consulting company, because it gave me something to do on my time, making my own hours and using the skills that I've learned over the years and having fun with it.
Yeah.
And not just being bored, thinking, oh, I have to get up at, such and such time to do such and such work, and it has to be done at this time, or, a project that was just dragging on forever. It was too boring for me. And that's not what was interesting to me.
Yeah. I want to just talk a little bit about, because we talked a little bit about this earlier, about the supplemental insurance and how a lot of us, we really are depending on the government. And I have a story about that, Erin. So when COVID hit, my friend Nat, in fact, who's on watching, he was like, you should get government insurance, or not government insurance, government supplements coming in, like unemployment and such, because your business is taking a hit. And I said, yeah, it's absolutely taking a hit. Everything I worked for is now off the table. I'm starting at ground zero once again. And so you do look at that and you say, okay, you know what, that can help me, but it's not something that I can always depend on. And, and it's so true. Like I just talked about, like we don't expect things and all of a sudden like something just comes out of nowhere. Well, my card got compromised. My unemployment got compromised, and then I didn't have it anymore. And I'll tell you, I was like, okay, it's gone. Like, we got to move it. We can't be dependent on this. We got to just get this going. And
exactly.
It was by far like my best month, my best year, my best this, because I was like, I don't have that to depend on anymore. It's
and you know, I was so happy to see you blossom after that, and just everything you did with the real estate, and just seeing you, you know, you really came alive after. And I was like, wow, this is such a huge change. And, you know, that's what I want to see with me. And, you know, not having to be dependent on that money, because you don't know how long it's going to last for. But the people, the way I look at it is the people that you help, they will recommend you to people. And those are the friendships and relationships that will last forever. That money, it may not last me forever.
Yeah.
You know, it may not get me where I want to be, but the friendships and the, you know, who comes to me next wanting to work with me, that will last more.
Right.
And that's what I look at.
And one thing that I'm just going to commend you on, Erin, is again, you've just been such a big supporter. I know some of the people that are tuning in, you've supported them as well, because I see you commenting on their posts. And it's very true what you say. Like, I look at it as I'm building that relationship with that client that is not a transactional thing by any stretch of the imagination. It is a forever relationship. And I want to keep that going, because you're right. When people know that you have their backs and vice versa, they really are going to say, you should work with Erin. You should work with Tisha. You should work with these gals, you know, and that's really what's going to keep your business flourishing, is the referrals and the relationships that you make. I mean, even yesterday, I had a client who just finished up with my personal brand toolkit, and I was like, hey, it's your birthday. You just sold a couple houses. Like, it's time to celebrate. And I ended up getting him a hat with his logo on it that we designed. And he was like, this is the coolest thing. Like, I have a trucker hat with my name and my logo. Like, it's those little things that didn't cost a whole lot that really people are like, you care. You care.
Yes.
You care about me. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, I want to look at some of these comments here. We've got Bruce and Nat having a conversation, and then Bruce, she's Mach 2 with her hair on fire. Lee would just love to see the energy from you both. And agreed, Erin. Been my content for months now. Amazing loyalty, loving your content. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And that really is something that, I mean, you can do that from anywhere in the world and be supporting someone through their content and through engaging with them and having those comments and so forth.
And I'll tell you, people notice that, because when I'm not on LinkedIn, when I was sick back in April, there were times where people were emailing me or, you know, leaving me messages going, where are you? What happened to you? And
people miss you.
Yeah.
They miss you. Yeah. All right, I'm going to give a shout out to this guy. Hey, Abraham Lopez. Good to have you here. Abraham joining us from the LA area. Oh, and then Nat. Okay, because I'm like, hey, side conversation going on in our comments. Nat saying, don't mind Bruce and I. Which I introduced you to, I'm pretty sure. So awesome. And Mary. So good to have you guys here joining us. All right, Erin. So I want to ask you, because LinkedIn, of course, you know, it's my favorite platform too. Even today, I was like, I don't know if this is LinkedIn material, but who cares?
I did see that. Yeah.
Well, because, you know, there's this whole thing of you should post stuff like that on LinkedIn. I'm like, and what? Like, I love what you said about if LinkedIn is your family and these are the people that you go to, and they miss you when you're gone, and they realize that you're gone, and they, you know, all of those things. And why wouldn't you share the important moments of your life with them?
Right.
Why wouldn't you say this is a big deal to me? Like, to me, getting braces on my kid's face was a big deal to me.
Yes.
And I was like,
Yes.
I just feel like I have to share this. And there's a lesson behind it. And there's this
Right.
whole, we weren't expecting this, but here we go. Like, life throws you on all sorts of dang curveballs. And
Yes.
yeah, so today we're talking about how to build business on LinkedIn. And I'd love for you to share with us in the time we have, like, how are you building business on LinkedIn? So you've got EE Admin Consulting, but tell us, what are some things that you can share with people who may be watching this live or on the replay?
Well, one thing I did started last year, actually the year before, right before COVID hit. A friend of mine who writes books, who is a former police officer, he had brought his first book out and was going to be going on tour with it. Mm-hmm. And then when his second book was ready to come out, he had let me know. And it all started from there. I said, hey, can I help you with this? What did you do with your first book tour? And how can I assist you with your second one? And that's how it all got started, really. I just, we got into a conversation about what I could help him with and how administratively, I could like schedule things for him. And, from my end, what I know I could do for him. And just from that, it started blossoming from there. And when other friends of mine were done writing their books, I would go to them and ask them, hey, how can we work together to, have you go on a book tour? Administratively, I have done many administrative things, for different companies. When I first started with LinkedIn, so I would go to them, anybody that I was networking with, I would let them know, hey, this is what I can do for you. If you need my assistance, let me know. Mm-hmm. And it just blossomed from there. And the name came about because another friend of mine had a similar title with the, different initials, though. Mm-hmm. And I, looked at it from, okay, this is, what I want to do, because I couldn't really come up with a different name. And the product that I am building, I cannot use that name right now. So I figured, well, I'm very close to my grandmother, so why not use these two initials since I'm named after her?
So there's some significance. EE.
Yes. Okay. And so that's how I came up with the name EE Admin Consulting. Mm-hmm. And it also gave me a point to work, starting off part-time.
Yes.
To see how it went and to kind of, just get an idea of, what people like and, how can I help them?
Yeah.
And but from that time that I talked with my friend about the book tour, that's how it all started. And that's how I really, started coming up with these ideas on what to do. Mm-hmm. And I just put a flyer together and said, this is what I want to do for my business. And I love helping people. And sometimes I feel that I may help too much. But, I really enjoy what I do. And, this is what I want to do for right now until that product is able to become another business.
Yeah. It's interesting, Erin, because I did have someone say to me, I think you give too much. Like, even these Tisha Talks lives are too much, like too much value, too much giving. And I always just am like taken aback by that, because I'm like, you know what? I'm getting my name out there. I get to interview some really cool people across the world, not just here locally or nationally, but across the world. And I am helping in a small way. If that makes an impact in your day, then awesome. Like, awesome. But if I keep going, I'm not giving you anything, I don't want to give you anything, like, you're going to remember that about me too. So back to Abraham, even he put up there, and I'm just looking at some of his comments, but he's, at the end of the day, your brand is you. And it's absolutely, we've talked about this a lot. Branding is you.
Yes, you're exactly right. And, that's what I feel. I feel great at the end of the day when someone comes to me and say, hey, can you help me with this? Or, just to, I hear a lot that, oh, Erin, you inspire me just with the words that I put out there, with the giving back to you posts that I do each week. And, that's why I wanted to start my business, with the connections and friends that I've made on LinkedIn, because they're the ones who see what I do every day. They're the ones that comment on my posts every day. They're the ones that support me. And they're the ones that, will most likely, if we've worked together, they will recommend other people that they know.
Right.
And since I don't get out of the house so much either, like, people do when they go out to work or if they go out partying, things like that, I don't get to go out as much. So my LinkedIn family is the only connection that I have to that outside world right now.
Yeah.
Especially with COVID being around and not being able to travel.
Right.
And so that's why I look up to them a lot too.
Yeah. See, there
and
you
that's
go.
That's why starting this company with, my connections on LinkedIn and reaching out to them first, really has, put the word out there. Absolutely. That, hey, this is the company and this is what I do.
That's so true. And I think that is that's something that not a lot of us are taking advantage of. And I will say the same, for me, but what you just said right there, Erin, is a really great way to just at least kick up the conversation a notch. If maybe we've been connected for a bit and I know we've liked each other's content and so forth, but to really get re-engaged with the people that you're already connected with. Like we go into this where it's like, I just need to get new prospects. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, but you have a lot of connections already that already know you, like you, can strike up a conversation. So even just saying that, hey, Erin, you've been top of mind with me for a bit and I just wanted to check in and see how you are. Like that speaks volumes about you. And even just you going the extra mile and reaching out to people that are already in your network. So I love that. I love that tip of if you're trying to build your business on LinkedIn, go to the people that you already are connected to. Strike up a conversation with them.
Yes, that's the best way that I've learned how to do it. And it has worked wonders for me. And, like I said, I love seeing people be happy. It's nothing about, how much am I making? How much am I bringing in? It's about how am I helping somebody today?
Right.
And, in turn, we find out that there's ways that they can help me too. And that's the best part about this networking.
Yeah.
And I love it. I really do.
Yeah, I love it. Okay. Well, good stuff. Well, I know we have some people, like I said, joining us on LinkedIn as well as Facebook. Hey, Erin, it looks like you may even have a mini project here. So Bruce saying, I have a mini project for you. We can talk about it when we do our live time. So there you go. Power of live streaming, power of LinkedIn working its magic in the flesh. Right now, in real time. Well, good stuff. Okay, one more question that I have for you, Erin, and I think we will wrap it up with a shameless plug. But today was just one of those days where I'm like, all right, I have to fix my garage, I have to pick up my son early, I have to get him to get his braces, and I wasn't really feeling it. Motivation wise, I was like, ugh, I think I'm done before I even got started. But I am going to show up for my live stream because Erin's cool and I have to show up for this. But we were just talking about this in the green room. Like, how do you stay motivated on days when you're just like, oh, I don't know if I have this in me today?
Just because I have my LinkedIn family who keeps supporting me, and the positivity that they encourage me, and just that helps. To keep me going. I know when the time changed, I went through the same thing where it was, I went through kind of a depression, because of the time change and seeing it get darker earlier. And, but every time I got on LinkedIn and started communicating with people and looking at posts, just that helped to brighten my day.
Yeah.
And hearing, from friends, they were emailing me celebrating things that they're going through. Just that kept me going. And knowing that, I am building this consulting company and seeing how can I help someone today, just that helps me out.
Right. That's so true too, because I'm going to say that I feel like when I go on LinkedIn, and again, maybe there's a little bias because I think that you and I love LinkedIn so much. Nothing against you, Meta, Facebook, Instagram, all those places. But I like going here because I'm surrounded by other business professionals, other entrepreneurs who are maybe having a shit day too.
Yeah.
And, I go there and I feel uplifted, or I feel like there's something that maybe someone posted that made me think or inspired me to write a post of my own or ask a question. Like, I feel like there's no shortage of, oh my gosh, like even yesterday, Erin, I know you liked this post too. And so did Bruce, but I posted a picture of my daughter and how over the weekend we got to spend time together. And I was like, please, no, do not say the mall. Please, no, do not say crowded places. Cause I don't have it in me. Like there's so much traffic here, even in Arizona. And I love that she was like ducks and bike ride. I was like, done all day long. Like we did it twice, like Saturday and Sunday. And, but that post was inspired when I was like, what do I want to share today? Like I have this picture, what do I share? And, I saw this a post from Rick Spear and I was like, there it is. That inspired me. I'm going to go share it. Here we go. So like you, I love that you said that what motivates you, because so many people can say, I jumped to a self-development book, a help book, or self-help book. I jumped to a podcast. But you were even saying, like, I go to my LinkedIn family for the inspiration. I go to that for the motivation. I go to connect with people there. So you really are building your business on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is working for you.
Yes. And I can send you plenty of those duck pictures because we get a lot of ducks around here. Yes, we definitely do.
There is one duck that I used to love this duck. He looked like kind of like Albert Einstein. Like he was nice, white, fluffy, and had this little white tuft of hair, and it was just the cutest thing. And he's not around anymore. But I mean, my daughter she's just sit there all day long and feed the ducks. All right, we have a couple more comments, and I want to make sure that I get to these before we wrap it up. This is from Viet Nago. It says, your network is your net worth. And in other words, your brand is you, because no one would like to connect with you if you're not adding value to yourself. Absolutely.
That's right.
It does. It really does. I feel like I've grown just even in the last week and a half of just new followers and new people that are connecting with me. And you're right, it is. It's how you put yourself out there.
Right.
And then Abraham says, look at it like this. Everything you do, it's one step closer to your goals. Everything you don't do is another reason why you're not there yet.
He's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's the way I look at it. If I'm not, trying to build myself up again from getting away from the supplemental income, and, trying to find a different way to create that income that I want so that I can do these things, because I do want to travel, at one point. I want to be able to have a house one day.
Yeah.
These things, that income it's just holding me back. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to be held back, because I know that there's such a bright future for me ahead.
Yeah.
That's what I want to look forward to.
There you go. And as we talked about earlier, it's about, do you see it? Do you feel it? Do you taste it? Can you envision it? And that's what you work towards. So just like Abraham said, your goals, that's one step closer if you can keep taking another step, right? Another step. And to that point, I was talking about this with a friend of mine the other day. We were out for protein shakes. That's the new networking thing, I guess, is protein shakes.
I love the protein bars. I have to say, I have them almost every morning. So I'm right there with you.
We went to a spot and I had a pink kale latte, like almost like a pina colada protein drink with kale in it. It was actually pretty tasty. But we got on the subject of just like what Abraham was saying about coasting. And that how some days you are going to feel like you're like, I just need a break. I just need to not do this today.
Yeah.
Totally fine. But she's like, you can't coast forever. You can't
Right.
just keep coasting. Like things are good and then you coast. Things are good and then you coast.
Yeah.
And she's so right on about like, you know what, you have to keep moving. Even like a day or two is fine if you just need that mental break. But realize, just like he said, whatever you're not doing is not getting you closer to the goals that you have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that was one thing, if I can bring this in real quick, that was one thing that my grandmother had taught me while growing up at a very young age. She says, never give up, no matter how slow you're moving. You got to keep moving forward.
Yeah.
And that's where I want to keep moving.
Right.
And that's why, you know, I love helping people. And if it's helping us to both move forward, it's even better. I love it.
Go. Yeah. And to your point too, I mean, it may take you a little bit longer. It might take all of us depending on circumstances or like just schedules, of course. But it doesn't mean you're not working for it. It doesn't mean you're not working toward it. It's just you're going to get there in your own time. And so, I mean, we say that all day long, Erin, like don't compare yourself to other people because you never know. They might be working around the clock and caffeinated on Red Bull. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
It's what you're, and you have to look at it this way too. Okay, so they got to where they wanted to be at this point, but what did they give up? Like what things did they have to give up to get there? Right. And if that's not what you want and that's not how fast you want to go, then you need to be okay with that and make sure that you're putting in the priorities that you want to in your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So different strokes for different folks, right?
Yeah. And I'll add this in too. I had a conversation with someone who was a former connection of mine now about almost 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And I had a question for him. So we were, you know, on a phone call, and I had brought up about the whole income thing because it had to deal with the question. Mm-hmm. And the whole time that we were, you know, discussing this, he was pretty much laughing at me. Huh. Because I had, you know, he asked me, well, what do you do for work? Uh-huh. And I said, well, I'm building my consulting company. And at the time that I mentioned that, that was the first thing he did was you know, in my mind, it was that a woman like me is not capable. That should, you know, somebody should be out there, you know, working if they want to get something and not running a company. And I didn't take to that very, you know, very nicely because it completely just turned me off from the whole conversation that we were having because, you know, they weren't understanding that with COVID, you know, this was the easiest thing for me to do. And because I can't travel, like most people who work outside of the house can travel, you know, using LinkedIn and my connections is the first way for me to go because of those things that are stopping me right now. Right. Right. And that's, you know, that's another reason I look up to my LinkedIn family so much is because they're there for me, you know, not just when I need them, but every day they're there. Yeah. And those are the first ones that I'm going to go to. Yeah. Well, there you have it. Yeah. All right. Well, what do you guys think? This was Erin's first live stream. So happy that she chose Tisha Talks as her first live broadcast. So thanks again, Erin, for being on with me tonight. And tell me, so how can people reach out to you? What's the best way? I'm guessing LinkedIn. They can reach out to me through LinkedIn. Absolutely. You have my email address that you can add to this. In the comments section, I'd be happy to answer any emails that anybody has any questions, comments about tonight's podcast. And I'd be happy to help them any way I can. Yeah. So I'm throwing up your last name here too, Erin. So for people to find you on LinkedIn, you can connect with her right at Erin Brochu. She's with EE Admin Consulting out of South Carolina. So you can find her again on LinkedIn. And thank you again so much, Erin, for being on with me tonight. I appreciate you and our connection and our friendship.
and loved having you on. And thank you for sharing your story and how, you're doing it. You're making things happen. I'm proud of you.
Well, thank you for having me on, and thank you for the friendship that you've shown and for the support that you've shown on my content, my posts, videos, anything that I post. Thank you.
Of course. All right. Well, thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in live. If you're catching the replay, don't be shy. Send a comment, ask a question. Erin and I are also checking that feed. And we hope you have a great rest of your week. And I will catch you back next Wednesday for Tisha Talks Live at 4:45. See ya, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.